The ball lay in the grass in the centre of the depression, but there was no sign of Toby. Will, utterly perplexed, called again. "Toby, where are you?" The wind in the bushes. No other sound. Will turned in a circle, shielding his eyes from the late afternoon sun, trying to catch a glimpse of Toby. Once or twice he thought he had spotted him, but it was only nettles and willow herb blowing in the wind. He searched among the encircling fringes of bushes, prodded with his stick at any holes he saw among the bony moss-covered roots, but he found nothing. "Ow, damn!" he exclaimed as he cut his hand on a briar. He bound his bleeding hand with his handkerchief. It was surprisingly painful. He began to feel irritable. He really didn't need Toby to start playing silly games. "Hey, Toby!" he called. "Stop messing about!" He hurried this way and that, peering behind bushes, clumps of nettles and thick tussocks of grass, but still no Toby. He returned to the standing stone on its mound. He searched around the stone, investigated the weed-choked gateway that led into the field. Still nothing. "Toby! Toby!" He retraced his steps as far as the lane. He shouted Toby's name over and over, but with no result. He felt a growing sense of unreality, as if he was trapped in the strangest of dreams and had lost the ability to wake himself up. He ran back to the field, looked behind every bush. He ended up in the hollow where the ball still lay in the grass. He beat his forehead with his fist, hoping the violent action would dispel the intolerable limbo he was stuck in. But it did not. He let out an agonized cry. "Toby!" There was no answer, only the bushes shuddering in the strengthening breeze. It was as if an invisible hand had plucked his son from the planet. He recalled the tales from his student days of ancient gods who meddled in the affairs of men, spiriting hapless mortals away to mountain fastnesses and secret islands. However, these were just stories, told to illustrate some point of social history. But you could almost believe they were true in a place like this. He looked at his watch, took it off and shook it. The watch had stopped. He cursed in disbelief. Didn't normal things work around here? Damn! Damn! He felt like screaming in furious frustration. He thrust the watch into his pocket, took out his mobile and keyed in the number of Alice's mobile. No signal. "I don't believe it!" he cried in hapless rage. "I'm going to go mad now," he thought. "Alone in an empty field with nothing but nettles and thistles to mock me. Perhaps I'm insane already, trapped in a nightmare illusion while Toby is sitting happily at home eating his tea, having forgotten I ever existed. Was this some bizarre punishment for his recent affair? Surely not. Life simply wasn't like that. Was it? He left the hollow and keyed the number in again from slightly higher ground. Still no signal. This is totally crazy. He was about to fling his mobile to the ground, but restrained himself. He stared around the field as despair swept through him. Then he heard a faint voice. "Daddy!" He rushed toward the sound. "Toby? Where are you?" "Daddy, I'm here." Will, his emotions swinging between wild extremes, rushed erratically about the field. Toby's voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. "I can't see you, Toby," he cried in anguish. "Where are you? Are you hurt?" "Daddy!" "Wave your arm so I can see you." Will turned in a circle, straining his eyes to look. "Wave your arms, wave, wave. I still can't see you." He heard Toby's voice again, but to his distress its sound was growing fainter. "Daddy, I'm here. Dad, Dad." Then, to his ultimate disbelief, silence. Will, frantic now, rushed around the field, shouting till he had almost lost his voice. But he was unable to find any sign of Toby. He called, but Toby no longer replied. The thought occurred to him that perhaps Toby had never heard him, that maybe his son was so far away that his own voice hadn't carried that far. But Toby's voice had reached him. He could make no sense of it. He sat abruptly on the ground, his head in his hands. This can't be real. He got to his feet, looked around at the empty field. This has to be some kind of joke. He drew deep breaths, doing his best to calm himself. Be methodical. He quartered the field, striding one way, turning and pacing back. As once again he arrived at the standing stone, Alice appeared by the gate to the field. "What's going on, Will? You've been away hours. It's almost tea time." She looked around. "Where's Toby?" He stared at her, speechless.